Nobody has their life together. Say that out loud. Your brain either nods along or it starts a list of people who clearly do. But here's the problem with get your life together. It makes life sound like a room you clean once. Like one day you wake up with the perfect body, the stable career, the organized finances, and nothing ever falls apart again. It doesn't work like that. Life doesn't stay solved. New problems arrive. Old habits return. So maybe getting your life together isn't about reaching a finished version of yourself. Maybe it's about learning how to examine the unfinished one. That skill is the most evidence-backed thing I've ever found. By the end of this video, you'll have a 5-part audit you can run in 15 minutes. But first, the noise. Here's the first thing nobody tells you. The people you compare yourself to can't see themselves clearly either. Psychologist Tasha Eurich spent 4 years and nearly 5,000 people hunting for genuinely self-aware adults. 95% of people believe they're self-aware. The real number? 10 to 15%. That's not because everyone is lying. It's the illusion of transparency. We think our mess is leaking out, visible to everyone. It isn't. People cannot read you as well as you think. So the person you're comparing yourself to isn't a finished product. They're a guess, with better lighting. Now, the highlight reel. There's a reason it hurts. Research on upward comparison is blunt. Measuring yourself against people who seem to be doing better is consistently linked to more anxiety, more depression, lower self-esteem. But the nuance people skip. It's not social media is poison. Comparison is the drug, not the app. Some feel inspired, most feel behind. Effects vary person to person. So steal this rule. Use somebody else's progress as information, not a verdict on your worth. A score without context isn't a diagnosis, and confidence isn't evidence of competence. The famous claim that the least competent are the most confident, statisticians are relitigating it right now. But the safe version survives. Everyone misjudges themselves. Some people just look better doing it. Here's the uncomfortable part. And this one's about you, not them. Your brain runs a con artist. Across 266 studies, people systematically take credit for their wins and blame their circumstances for their losses. It shows up in nearly every sample ever measured. So the story you tell yourself about your life isn't neutral. It's a lawyer arguing your case. The audit starts with a question in 2 directions. What am I blaming on circumstances that's actually mine to change? And the direction we almost never ask. What am I blaming on my character that's actually a constraint? One of those is an excuse. The other is a weapon. Honesty means running both. So what is an audit, practically? Not beating yourself up in a mirror. Not a 5-year master plan. The opposite of vague. An audit uses receipts, not adjectives. Not, I'm lazy. Not, I have no discipline. Those are verdicts. An audit asks, what did I say I would do? What did I actually do? Here's the 5-part version. 15 minutes, once a week. 1. Pick one area, not your whole life. Health, money, work, one relationship, one habit. 1. 2. Record evidence from the last 7 days. Dates, numbers, check marks, hours. Your memory is the lawyer. Paper is the witness. 3. Find the friction. Knowledge, time, energy, fear, an environment that fights you, a goal that matters to someone else more than to you. 4. Pick one controllable lever. 1. Attach it to a cue. If this happens, I do that. If I finish lunch, I walk 10 minutes. If I get paid, I move $50 before I spend any. Psychologists call these implementation intentions, and across 94 studies and over 8,000 people, they gave a medium to large boost in actually reaching goals. 5. Schedule the next audit. Run the experiment, collect the data, adjust. And tracking works. A review of 138 studies, almost 20,000 people, found monitoring progress genuinely raises your odds of reaching goals. Even better when you write it down. But here's a warning. This is where most self-improvement advice goes wrong. Reflection is not automatically good. In 2025, researchers pooled 39 studies and over 12,000 people and found something uncomfortable. Self-reflection was linked to more depression and anxiety, and it had zero link to happiness or life satisfaction. Reflecting more can make you feel worse, if it's the wrong kind. The research separates constructive reflection, which ends in a decision, from rumination, which just spins. Why am I like this? Why can't I change? So the upgrade. Ask what, not why. Why am I like this? Spiral. What am I feeling right now? What do I need? What's the next step? Information. Reviewing your mistakes like a reporter covering someone else's story cuts the emotional charge and turns rehashing into insight. And keep the audit kind. Even self-given feedback backfires shockingly often. In the largest feedback meta-analysis ever done, more than a third of interventions made performance worse. Shame says, I failed because I am a failure. An audit says, the plan broke here. Why? Fix that spot. Okay, the elephant in the room. Discipline. I could tell you to be more disciplined. You'd feel worse, and we'd move on. Not doing that. Because here's the truth self-help usually hides. Discipline is a luxury. It's easy to say just be disciplined when you have time, money, stability, sleep, support, and a quiet room. Real life doesn't always give you those. The science. Financial scarcity taxes cognitive bandwidth. The original study put the cost at about a full night of lost sleep. Later studies have argued about the size. The direction is real, the magnitude debated. Sleep matters too. Reviews tie poor sleep to worse self-control, attention, and executive function. Behavioral scientists have a framework. COMB. Behavior happens where capability, opportunity, and motivation meet. Tell a rested, supported person to be disciplined, it works. Tell an exhausted, overwhelmed one, and just be disciplined isn't a plan. It's an insult. And here's the part that frees you. Roughly 43% of what you do every day is automatic. A habit running in a familiar context while your mind is elsewhere. Not a character flaw. So the highest leverage move isn't try harder. Change the context, change the cue, make good things easy and bad things hard. But the counterpoint that keeps this honest. Willpower isn't a finite tank you're out of. The famous ego depletion effect failed a massive pre-registered replication. 23 labs, 2,000 people. So the synthesis. Your circumstances are real. Honor them. But don't wait for perfect conditions. Design your way forward, one honest step at a time. Responsibility begins after reality, not instead of it. Now, the most liberating statistic I know. It takes 21 days to form a habit. You've heard it 1,000 times. It's a myth, traced to a 1960s book about plastic surgery patients adjusting to their new faces, not habits. The actual research, 96 real people forming real habits, found the median time to automaticity was 66 days. The range, 18 to 254. If you've been trying something for 3 weeks and it still feels hard, you're not failing. You're on schedule. You're just not done yet. And the best part, missing a single day did not reset anyone's progress. Not one person. The streak you think you ruined? It was never the point. You don't need to be perfect. You need to be frequent. Second thing nobody tells you. The people who have it together aren't running on big breakthroughs. They're running on small wins. Harvard researcher Teresa Amabile analyzed nearly 12,000 diary entries from 238 professionals. The biggest daily driver of motivation was progress, even tiny progress on something meaningful. Not praise, not rewards, progress. And here's the asymmetry that should change how you talk to yourself. Setbacks hit more than twice as hard as wins lift you. Your inner critic isn't keeping you honest. It's stacking the deck against you. And the finding that surprised me, being kind to yourself after failure makes you more motivated to improve, not less. In 4 experiments, people who treated their mistakes with self-compassion studied longer, made amends more, and changed more than people who beat themselves up. So audit like a coach who wants you to win, not a prosecutor. Maybe you didn't transform your life this week. Maybe all you did was tell the truth about one pattern and take one honest action. Good. You moved a step, baby. Count it. Because one step is still movement. Let's name the fear underneath all of this. The reason we don't audit our lives is we're afraid of what we'll find. Afraid we're behind. Afraid we're the only one faking it. Here's the research on that fear. The imposter phenomenon, one of the best documented feelings in psychology, spans 9 to 82% prevalence across 62 studies and 14,000 people, depending on how you measure it. The exact number doesn't matter. The range is the point. If you've ever felt like a fraud about to be exposed, you are in a crowd. It's not a mental illness. It's not in the diagnostic manual at all. It's what happens in a new room before you've learned the rules. So do the weekly right. Across 146 studies, putting the honest version of your life on paper helps. Modestly, but reliably, especially under stress. 15 minutes. 1 page. No one reads it. You're not auditing because you're broken. You're auditing because the mess is the material. And you can't improve a version of yourself you're unwilling to examine. So here's what getting your life together actually turns out to be. Not a finish line, a cycle. Notice, adjust, act. Then notice again. Because life doesn't stay solved. The skill was never fix everything forever. It's becoming the kind of person who can look at the mess, tell the truth about it, clean what they can reach, ask for help with what they can't, and still wake up tomorrow ready to try again. Nobody has it all figured out. That's not a comfort line. It's been measured. The people who look calm are just better at hiding it, or they've had more practice, more support, more chances to try again. You don't need their life. You need 3 things. Awareness to see where you are, honesty to admit what isn't working, courage to take the next step. That's it. No perfect morning routine, no 5-year master plan, no pretending. And the next step is always available. Always. So here's your move, right now. Pause this video, open your notes, finish 2 sentences. The thing I need to stop pretending is, and the next action I can take in 10 minutes is, that's the whole audit. 1 area, 1 lever, 1 step. Drop one of those sentences in the comments. 1 thing you'll audit this week. I read them all. And subscribe. Next week, we run the full audit together, live. Nobody has it all figured out, but you can always take the next step. And sometimes, that's more than enough.